All right, guys, I got a OEM rear wheel, 12-inch wheel off of a KLX 110 here. I'm gonna show you how to take it apart the easiest way possible. It's all aired up, so we're gonna go ahead and let the air out. Be the first step for us. I got a valve stem removal tool, so I'm gonna take the core out, but you could also just take something small and press the stem to let the air out. Next step is we want to break that bead, break the tire off the bead. We do want to lube it up a little bit. I just use some simple green that will evaporate after the fact. Now this wheel does not have a rim lock on it, but same goes for a wheel with the rim lock. You want to start on the opposite side of that rim lock. In this case, I'm just going to start on the opposite side of the valve stem. 3 tire irons. Having 3 is going to make this a lot easier, and get the nice ones that are rounded on the end, the spoons. So I really like these ones from Rocky Mountain ATV. I take my worst tire iron first and just put a little bit of pressure on it. Don't pull it over yet. And then I'm going to stick my second one in, hold that one on there, and then I'm going to stick my third one in. All right, and then you can start them out. I'm just kind of trying to keep some pressure on it so they don't fall out. But this is going to be the hardest part, is breaking it loose to begin with. This one kind of slid out, so I'm going to go ahead and get that back in. All right, there we go. Keep pressure on it so it doesn't slide out that time. So now, since we have 3 in there, the middle one doesn't have any pressure on it. So we can take that out. And we can go ahead and work our way around. So after you get past that first little bit, it's pretty easy. We're gonna hit the other side. Same concept here. See, I'm using my longer tire irons for the harder part, since I have a little more leverage with those. If you have a really hard time getting the spoon in there, sometimes you can hit the end of it with a mallet. But try to avoid doing that as much as possible. So now we want to find where our valve stem is at. It's at the bottom right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of drop the rim down inside the tire. Once we got it like that, we can just kind of pull to the side and push off at the same time. Kind of re-grip halfway through. And then you get your wheel and your tire separated. When I put these wheels back together, I like to use duct tape instead of a rim strip. The duct tape helps out a lot with keeping the spokes more seated, keep them from moving around and getting loose. And also, when you're putting the tire on, you don't have to worry about that rim band sliding around and not being able to line up your holes for the valve stem and the rim lock. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you how to put the tire on the easy way. Something good to do is to put some baby powder inside the tire. That'll help chafing on the tube. So the easiest way is to go ahead and put the tube inside the tire and install it at one time. If you're doing a rim lock, I usually do the tire and then put the tube in. It's a little more difficult, but it's less chance of pinching the tube. So we do want to put the core, make sure you got the core in there. A little bit of air will help keep from it getting pinched, but you don't want too much. Put too much, it'll make it difficult to put the tire on. I'm actually gonna let a little bit out. Make sure you get your orientation correct. Because some tires are directional. So I'm gonna go ahead and put our valve stem in. put that lock nut just on the tip so it doesn't slide out. I'm gonna let a little bit more air out. Yep, there we go. All right. So now we just want to work it on the rim and just be careful not to pinch that tube. Make sure your valve stem's nice and straight. So I'm gonna just kind of step on it right here and almost go all the way across from it and work it on there. And then we're gonna take a little bit of a smaller bite because we don't want to backtrack here. Take too big, it'll start pulling from the other side and you'll lose progress there. All right. Getting close here. Sometimes towards the end, when it's real tight, I'll go ahead and put one iron in towards the way I'm working so that once it does get really tight, I won't have to try to shove an iron in there and scratch the rim. See, I already got my lever in there, so we'll see if, yep, work that last little bit over. All right, straighten up our valve stem again, and now we're on the home stretch. I like to start at the valve stem, same kind of concept with 3 irons. Go ahead and get one in. Get our second one in. Now, when you put these through, try to slide them so you know that you're not pinching the tube in there. When I say slide, I'm just sliding them side to side so I know that I'm on the rim and not rim and tube. Actually, I'm going to work it a little bit away from the valve stem here. These little kids' wheels can be notorious for being difficult. So it does take some patience. We're getting closer to the end here, so I definitely do want to take some small bites. It's trying to work itself off the rim here now. That's where a bead buddy can be helpful, but these wheels are so small. The bead buddies, it's pretty difficult to get them in there and to utilize them. See right here, if this was a black wheel, that would scratch it up pretty good. So that's why it's good to have lever placement already. But this rim's already pretty beat up, so I'm not too worried about it there. But yeah, now that's on there, we do want to check and make sure that we didn't pinch the tube. So we're just gonna put some air in it. I got a digital gauge, so it's pretty easy to check. When I put it on there, it shows me live pressure. And if it's slowly dropping, then I'll be able to tell if it's got a leak in it. So it's gonna lose a little bit when you take it on and off, but you see it's holding steady at 29.5. Another way to tell is to put it on and check it in a few hours and see what the pressure is. Of course, if it's leaking, it's going to drop a little bit. So this one's holding air, so it's good to go. You definitely do want to check and make sure that it's seated all the way around the rim. Mine's not seating right here, so I'm going to have to put a little more air in it and see if it pops out. Sometimes you got to take them loose a little bit and put some lube on there so that'll pop up and seat on the rim. But yeah, that's it.